Hey Bears, Eric here, and I'd like to say that Az is giving us something different for Pride Month, something unique and new, but it's not really. This is Az all the time. 24/7, 365, 366, 367. Let's add some more days to the year. This is Az all the time. Az is absolutely and totally fixated on gay stuff. And it's quite alarming for me, to be really honest. Like, if you ever see Az, and I'm not recommending to go and watch, just take my word for it. Az on FNT talks about gay stuff. Az on his streams talks about gay stuff. Az with Eric July talks about gay stuff, trans stuff, whatever. He is fixated, absolutely fixated and fascinated with gay stuff. He acts like he isn't, but clearly he is. This is coming from an expert on gay stuff. My community does not talk about these things as often as he does. He is pretty much every week, if you take out all the segments, hosting a gay podcast. Az probably has rainbow underwear. I'm just saying, take from that what you will. I'm not making accusations. I'm asking questions. Anyway, here's a tweet he made that there's a community note waiting to go out, as you can see on screen. But he made this tweet unprovoked, really. Now, he would say that it was provoked because of Pride Month, but it's really unprovoked. He's not quote tweeting anybody. It's not like he's in a debate. He just decided that he felt the urge to talk about the pride flag. Again, fixated, fascinated, like Az, chill. He says the pride flag doesn't represent gay acceptance. That was achieved decades ago. Already just out the gate with some dumb shit. As you can see in the community note here, it says gay acceptance, LGBT plus rights were not achieved decades ago, considering 40 countries criminalize homosexuality and 12 have the unalive penalty for it. Can't use that word on YouTube. I'll definitely get smacked down for it. But you can see it here on screen. Let's take a look at a list of some of these countries. And actually, it is more than 40. 40 are confirmed through actual legal documentation, but it's closer to 60 countries who have anti-queer / anti-gay laws in effect. And so just some of them are a lot less obvious. Let's just kind of scroll through a list so you can kind of catch the volume of where acceptance is not a thing. So here we see there are a lot of countries. And we're not going to sit here and go through each individual law, but they are all, and you can look this up if you want, they're all laws that criminalize any kind of non-heterosexual relations. Just keep scrolling. We can keep going here. You get the point. It's closer to 60. So right away, his first statement is an absolute lie. But let's say, for example, he's talking about anecdotally where he is and where gay acceptance is. So that would be the UK. The UK is struggling a bit when it comes to queer stuff right now. They're having a lot of heavy battles over there. So many that I can't even keep up with all of them because I'm dealing with the ones here in my own country. But they have some stuff going on. Let's take a look at where they stand on the charts for queer acceptance that was apparently achieved decades ago. And I'm just going to put this up on the screen here. The UK has dropped to 14th in the ILGA Rainbow Europe's rankings for LGBTQ plus rights, scoring 53 out of a possible 100. You can see a lot of other countries there not looking good for gay people or queer people. So that's just as a statement, surprise, surprise, is an outright lie. And it's something that gets said quite often, like, why do we need pride? What's the reason? Well, pride isn't just about being in countries where we can actually legally be together without worrying about being unalived in one of these other countries. Which the simple fact that people like Az are still arguing about that, knowing that there are countries where people like me could be unalived legally simply for existing, It brings the gravity of those statements into focus, if you know what I'm saying. So looking at this chart, the reason why the pride flag and why pride events matter is because there are other places where it is illegal to exist as a gay person, as a trans person, as a queer person. And so we are celebrating who we are in countries where we are more legally accepted, not totally, but more legally accepted, so that they can see that and that will inspire them to also fight for their legal rights to exist. That's what we're talking about, fam. We're talking about existing. That is the argument. There are countries here that do not want us to exist. So as his comments come off extremely privileged and vapid and baseless, like the lies are just like literally lies. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I'm going to make a point of saying this now because these guys love to use this against people. I'm not going to call him an ist or a phobe or any of those other words. I might call him an idiot or a dumbass or a liar because those are things that they just are, right? The other stuff, though, during Pride Month, I'm going to make a point of debunking and dismantling all of these idiots without ever calling them one of those things because it's so easy, because they're just lying. It's not even about any of that other shit, really. It's about the lies. It represents a totalitarian stance that you must accept and bow down or be branded an enemy of the state. Again, bro, literally almost 60 countries in the world make it illegal to be gay. The fact that you can post this and it's not illegal means that this is not a true statement. It doesn't get any more black and white than that. It just doesn't. In the last study, I think it was done a couple years ago, the last one I saw, in 27 countries, they did a study. About 10% of the total population of those 27 countries identified as something other than heterosexual. I think it was like 10, almost 11%. I'm going to find the chart here. All right, so here's the chart. It's hard to see, but up in the top corner there, you'll see that this is global country average of sexual orientation. It's 11%. I think it was like 10.8, and they rounded up. 11% of that community in those 27 countries identified as something other than heterosexual. That's wild that you think that that percentage of people could somehow enforce any kind of stuff on you as a person simply for being straight. That is wackadoodle. That's crazy talk. So your second statement is a lie. It is an outright lie. Now let's look at your third statement and see if you can go 3 for 3. It represent. You were so angry you didn't even, check your spelling. It represent a cult mentality and it's fascistic in nature. All right, so looking over here, I'm looking at the definition. This is from University of Texas Psychology Department, and it says here, cults tend to be highly cohesive, well-organized, secretive, and hostile to non-members. These are the most common cults. So let's break those down. Highly cohesive. That would require countries where all of this stuff is illegal for them to be able to get together and come up with a way to fight back, which we still have not achieved that. So not so cohesive in that way. Also, the simple fact that the queer community in general is a lot of different smaller communities who have a lot of internal stuff going on that isn't always on the same page. So again, not cohesive whatsoever. Nice try. Well organized. I'll give you that. I do think that some of the community might be well organized. I think there are some places that are a little bit more organized than others. Obviously, the countries that I listed that people are not able to break out of their oppressive rule. But that's not enough. That's just one aspect of this criteria. The other one is secretive. It's not secretive. Like, we're not trying to hide anything. That's why pride exists. How can pride be a thing if it's a secret? That would be the opposite. That would be like going back in the closet. That would be pretending that you're not gay or pretending you're not trans, right? That's what that would be. That would be the secretive aspect of it. You would still code switch in public, but be gay in private. That's the opposite of what that is. And hostile to non-members. Well, Az, I don't know how to tell you this, but it looks like you're being hostile to queer people here. I mean, that's one of the criteria of a cult. Are you in a cult? Is that what it is? Look, the reality of all of this is, and this goes across the board for all of this kind of talk, is that pride represents something that should be visible to everyone in the world, specifically for the things I talked about in this video. Secondly, there's no insidious plan. Gay people, trans people, queer people just want to be accepted. And the fact that we're getting this kind of stuff here, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. The fact that we're getting this kind of stuff here goes to show that we have not achieved that. Because this was an unprovoked statement from Az. No one, like nothing was done here. He was just triggered. He got mad by himself, right? He was sitting around and just got upset at home, playing video game. That pride flag, let me make a tweet. Pronouns. Like that, like literally that's what happened. Because he's an idiot. And a loser. Can I use that word? Is that one okay? He's a loser, really, in life. Who latches on to people like Gary and Eric because, you know, he cried in 2016 that he wasn't making enough money on YouTube. It's old story there. There's no way queer people could prevent rights to straight. Like, here's my question. What countries is it illegal to be straight? What countries is it illegal to be cisgender? 0. That's it. That's all I got to say.